Listen carefully. You live in a world where attention is currency, where everyone is fighting to be noticed, to be desired, to be chosen, but you don't want just any kind of attention. You want respect, admiration, and undeniable presence. You don't want to beg for someone's interest. You want to be the kind of woman who is impossible to overlook, and that is not something you achieve through games, desperation, or conformity. That is something you build through mastery of self. Radiating self-respect begins with how you see yourself when no one else is watching. It is not about external validation or temporary confidence. It is about an unshakable belief in your own worth. A woman who truly respects herself does not seek approval from others to feel valuable. She already knows she is. This kind of confidence is not arrogance. It is a quiet, unwavering understanding that you do not need to prove your worth to anyone because it is inherent within you. Your boundaries define the way you command respect. If you allow people to overstep, to take advantage, or to treat you as an afterthought, you are signaling to the world that you do not value yourself enough to say no. A woman who cannot be ignored is a woman who stands firm in her limits. She does not apologize for expecting decency. She does not tolerate disrespect under the guise of being kind, and she certainly does not compromise her values for fear of losing someone. How you speak to yourself shapes how the world speaks to you. If your inner dialogue is filled with self-doubt, self-criticism, and endless comparisons, then it will be reflected in the way you carry yourself. A woman who radiates self-respect does not entertain thoughts that diminish her power. She speaks to herself with kindness, with encouragement, and with the same level of respect that she expects from those around her. She refuses to let insecurity dictate her actions. Your standards are a reflection of your self-respect. If you constantly settle for less, whether in relationships, friendships, or professional opportunities, you are reinforcing the idea that you are not deserving of more. The woman who demands the best is the woman who knows she is worthy of it. She does not entertain half-hearted love, she does not accept mediocrity, and she certainly does not beg for attention. She attracts people who recognize her value because she first recognizes it herself. There is no need to chase what is meant for you when you carry yourself with self-respect. Desperation repels, while self-assurance attracts. A woman who respects herself does not beg for love, validation, or attention. She walks away from anything that does not align with her worth, not because she is arrogant, but because she understands that settling is an insult to her potential. She would rather be alone in peace than be surrounded by people who do not see her true value. Dressing, speaking, and behaving in a way that reflects dignity is a form of self-respect. The way you present yourself to the world tells people how to treat you. A woman who respects herself carries an air of confidence in her posture, her voice, and her demeanor. She is not swayed by trends that compromise her integrity, nor does she feel the need to dress or act a certain way to be liked. She embodies elegance, strength, and authenticity without effort. Your energy is sacred, and not everyone deserves access to it. A woman who radiates self-respect is selective about the company she keeps. She does not entertain toxic friendships, she does not allow negativity to drain her, and she certainly does not let people with weak intentions get close to her. She values her time, her peace, and her emotional well-being above all else. She understands that protecting her energy is an act of self-love. Walking away from situations that do not serve you is one of the most powerful displays of self-respect. Many people stay in places where they are not appreciated out of fear of loneliness, fear of starting over, fear of the unknown. A woman who respects herself does not allow fear to keep her stuck. She chooses herself first, even when it is difficult, because she knows that losing herself is the worst kind of loss. Silence is sometimes the strongest response. A woman who respects herself does not waste energy explaining her worth to people who refuse to see it. She does not beg to be heard, understood, or valued. Instead, she lets her actions speak for her. When disrespected, she does not engage in unnecessary arguments. She simply removes herself from the situation. Her silence carries more weight than words ever could. The world treats you exactly how you demand to be treated. If you carry yourself with self-respect, you set the tone for every interaction in your life. People will either rise to meet your standards or fade into the background where they belong. Self-respect is not just about how you feel. It is about how you show up in the world, how you move, how you speak, and how you refuse to settle for anything less than what aligns with your highest self. Mystery captivates the human mind in ways predictability never can. When someone believes they fully understand you, they stop being curious about you. They stop paying attention because they think they already know what to expect. But when you carry yourself with an air of unpredictability, when you do not reveal everything about yourself too soon, you create a sense of intrigue that draws people in and keeps them invested. Being mysterious is not about playing games or withholding affection. It is about maintaining a depth that others must earn the right to see. Many people make the mistake of over-explaining themselves, of laying out their entire life story, opinions, and emotions at once, hoping it will bring them closer to others. But in reality, this strips away the very thing that makes relationships exciting, the slow process of discovery. A person who is mysterious does not seek validation through oversharing. There is power in silence, in restraint, in knowing that not every thought needs to be spoken and not every emotion needs to be explained. The most intriguing people are those who make you wonder what they are thinking, what motivates them, and what lies beneath the surface of their composed exterior. When you are not predictable, you remain a challenge, and challenges demand attention. Unpredictability creates excitement. When people know exactly how you will react, what you will say, and how you will behave in every situation, they begin to take you for granted. Routine may bring comfort, but it does not create desire or admiration. The person who is not entirely predictable keeps others engaged because there is always something new to learn, something unexpected to experience. Being mysterious means having a life outside of external validation. You do not need to broadcast every detail of your day, every struggle you face, or every triumph you achieve. When people sense that you have layers beyond what you reveal, they become naturally more drawn to you. They want to earn your trust, to get a glimpse of what lies beyond your composed surface. And that desire is what makes you impossible to ignore. Your words should be intentional and measured. Speaking less but saying more is a trait of those who carry mystery effortlessly. The person who talks excessively often reveals too much, losing the weight of their presence in the process. But when you speak with purpose, when you allow silence to fill spaces rather than scrambling to fill them with meaningless words, you command attention. People listen more closely because they know that when you do speak, it matters. Emotional unpredictability is not about being erratic. It is about not allowing others to assume they fully understand your inner world. Too many people wear their emotions on their sleeves, reacting immediately and predictably to every situation. But the one who is mysterious does not give away their emotional state so easily. They remain composed, making others wonder what they are thinking and feeling, which only increases their intrigue. Boundaries are essential to maintaining mystery. When you make yourself too available, when you drop everything for someone the moment they call, you lose the element of uncertainty that keeps people engaged. A person who is not always accessible becomes more valuable. They create the impression that their time and presence are earned, not given freely to just anyone. And that exclusivity increases their appeal. Mystery is a form of power because it forces others to put in effort to understand you. Predictability makes you common, but mystery makes you unforgettable. When people cannot fully predict your next move, they remain invested in learning more. They respect the fact that you are not easily defined, that you are not an open book for anyone to read without effort. A mysterious person knows that their greatest asset is the ability to remain slightly out of reach. They reveal themselves gradually, allowing others to peel back the layers one by one rather than handing them everything up front. This creates the kind of connection that lasts because people value what they have to work for. When you cultivate an air of mystery, you do not need to demand attention. It is given to you effortlessly. Emotional discipline is the foundation of true strength. Without it, emotions control you rather than serve you. Many people believe that expressing every feeling as it arises is a sign of authenticity, but in reality, it is a sign of weakness. Emotional discipline is not about suppression. It is about mastery. It is about ensuring that your emotions do not dictate your actions in ways that sabotage your goals, relationships, or self-respect. When you react impulsively, you give away your power. Every emotional outburst, every uncontrolled reaction signals to others that you are not in control of yourself. This makes you easy to manipulate. The world is filled with people who will provoke you just to see how you respond. If you lack discipline, they will know exactly which buttons to push. But when you remain composed, when you refuse to be swayed by fleeting emotions, you become unshakable. Discipline in emotions does not mean becoming cold or detached. It means understanding when to express your feelings and when to hold them back. It means knowing that not every frustration deserves a reaction, not every insult requires a response, and not every disagreement needs to escalate into conflict. Emotional discipline is the ability to pause, reflect, and choose your response wisely rather than being driven by impulse. Mastering your emotions creates stability in your life and relationships. No one wants to be around someone who is unpredictable in a destructive way. People respect those who can handle stress, confrontation, and adversity without losing control. When you develop emotional discipline, you become the person others look to in times of chaos because they know you will not crumble under pressure. The key to emotional discipline is self-awareness. You must recognize what triggers you, what causes you to react impulsively, and where your weaknesses lie. Once you identify these patterns, you can train yourself to respond differently. It is not about suppressing emotions, but rather about channeling them into productive actions. Frustration can be turned into focus, anger into determination, and sadness into wisdom. Self-control is a skill that must be cultivated daily. Every time you choose to hold back an unnecessary reaction, you strengthen your ability to govern yourself. Every time you resist the urge to lash out, complain, or seek immediate validation, you reinforce the discipline that sets you apart from those who are ruled by their emotions. Over time, this control becomes second nature, allowing you to navigate life with clarity and confidence. Discipline in emotions also protects your mental and physical health. Stress, anxiety, and frustration drain your energy and weaken your ability to think clearly. When you allow emotions to consume you, they impair your judgment and lead you to make poor decisions. But when you regulate your emotions, you conserve your energy for what truly matters. You think strategically rather than reactively, ensuring that your actions align with your long-term goals rather than temporary feelings. Emotional discipline makes you more attractive, not just in relationships, but in all areas of life. People are drawn to those who exude calmness, strength, and certainty. They respect those who do not crumble in the face of adversity. A person who is in control of their emotions carries themselves with an unshakable presence that commands attention and respect. Building emotional discipline requires patience and practice. It is not something that happens overnight. It involves training yourself to pause before reacting, to process your emotions before acting on them, and to remind yourself that feelings are temporary, but consequences are lasting. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes, until emotional discipline becomes an integral part of who you are. True strength is not found in aggression or dominance, but in the ability to remain composed under pressure. Emotional discipline is what separates those who succeed from those who self-destruct. It is the difference between being controlled by the world and taking control of your own destiny. Commanding attention through presence is not about demanding recognition, but about earning it through the way you carry yourself. Presence is an unspoken force, an aura that makes people take notice without you having to say a word. It is the result of confidence, self-awareness, and the ability to hold space in any environment. The most powerful individuals do not beg for attention. They naturally attract it through their energy, posture, and self-possession. Your posture speaks before you do. The way you stand, walk, and occupy space communicates volumes about your mindset and self-perception. A person who slouches, looks down, or hesitates when they move signals uncertainty. On the other hand, someone who holds themselves upright, makes deliberate movements, and walks with purpose exudes quiet authority. Presence begins with how you physically present yourself to the world. Eye contact is a powerful tool of presence. When you look people in the eyes with steadiness, you convey confidence and control. Many people avoid sustained eye contact out of insecurity or discomfort, but those who can hold their gaze without intimidation or neediness create an undeniable impact. The ability to look at someone directly without wavering establishes dominance without aggression. It signals that you are fully present, unshaken, and aware of your surroundings. Your voice carries more weight than you realize. People who command attention speak with clarity, intention, and control. They do not rush their words or speak too softly out of fear of being ignored. Instead, they use pauses, variation in tone, and deliberate articulation to make every word land with impact. A strong presence is often accompanied by a voice that carries authority, one that does not need to be loud to be heard, but is impossible to ignore. There is an energy about those who command attention, and it is rooted in how comfortable they are with themselves. People who are constantly seeking approval or validation from others give off an air of insecurity. In contrast, those who are grounded in their own worth naturally attract attention. They do not try to impress, nor do they overcompensate. They simply exist in a way that draws people toward them, not through effort, but through an undeniable inner strength. Stillness is an underrated but powerful aspect of presence. Many people fidget, shift nervously, or move too much, signaling restlessness. But those who are comfortable in their own skin know the power of being still. They do not rush to fill silences or make unnecessary gestures. They allow their presence to speak for itself, creating an aura of control that makes others take them seriously. The ability to remain composed in any situation sets them apart. Your presence is also determined by how you handle social interactions. People with strong presence listen intently, respond thoughtfully, and make others feel that they are fully engaged. They do not get distracted by their phones, look over people's shoulders for someone more interesting, or react emotionally to small provocations. Instead, they give their full attention to whoever they are speaking with, making that person feel seen and respected, which in turn amplifies their influence. Boundaries play a crucial role in commanding attention. People who let others talk over them, disrespect them, or take advantage of them are easily overlooked. But those who assert their boundaries with calm confidence, who do not allow themselves to be interrupted, who command respect in conversations, and who hold firm to their principles, are impossible to ignore. Presence is reinforced by the way you carry yourself in relation to others and how much self-respect you exhibit. Your presence should be backed by substance. The attention that is based purely on appearance or theatrics is fleeting, but attention that is earned through character, intelligence, and competence is lasting. People who truly command attention do so because they have something of value to offer. They are knowledgeable, capable, and constantly improving themselves. Their presence is not just about how they look or act, it is about what they bring to the table. Presence is an internal game before it ever manifests externally. It is the result of self-mastery, self-respect, and an unshakable belief in your own value. When you cultivate these qualities, you do not have to force people to notice you. They simply do. The world naturally gravitates toward those who exude certainty, control, and quiet power. Being unapologetically authentic means embracing who you truly are without seeking approval or validation from others. It is about owning your strengths, your flaws, and your unique perspective on life. Many people mold themselves to fit societal expectations, afraid that their true selves may not be accepted. But the reality is, authenticity is magnetic. It draws in the right people and repels those who are not meant to be in your life. Authenticity requires self-awareness. You cannot be unapologetically yourself if you do not know who you are. This means taking time to understand your values, your beliefs, and what truly matters to you. It means questioning whether the things you do and say are genuinely yours or merely echoes of societal conditioning. People who know themselves deeply do not waver in the face of external pressure because they have built their identity on a foundation of truth rather than conformity. The fear of judgment keeps people trapped in inauthenticity. They say what they think others want to hear, act in ways that they believe will make them more likable, and suppress parts of themselves that they worry might be too much. But living like this is exhausting and ultimately unfulfilling. When you decide to be unapologetically authentic, you give yourself permission to stop performing and start existing as you truly are. Being authentic does not mean being reckless or inconsiderate. Some people mistake bluntness for authenticity, using their realness as an excuse to be rude or insensitive. True authenticity is about honesty, but it is also about self-respect and respect for others. It is about expressing yourself in a way that aligns with your values without compromising your integrity or the dignity of those around you. The cost of authenticity is that not everyone will like you. When you stop bending to fit the expectations of others, some people will resist. They may criticize, reject, or distance themselves from you, but this is not a loss, it is a filter. The people who cannot handle your authenticity were never truly aligned with you in the first place, and the people who do accept you, they are the ones who matter. Authenticity breeds confidence. When you no longer seek permission to be yourself, you radiate a level of self-assurance that is rare and powerful. You no longer worry about whether you are too much or not enough for anyone, because you have decided that you are enough as you are. This confidence is not arrogance. It is the quiet strength of someone who refuses to compromise their identity for acceptance. Living authentically means making decisions that align with your core self, not decisions based on fear or societal pressure. It means choosing paths in life that resonate with you, even if they are unconventional. It means trusting your instincts, standing firm in your choices, and not allowing yourself to be swayed by the opinions of those who do not walk your path. Authenticity attracts authenticity. When you are unapologetically yourself, you create space for others to do the same. People feel safe around those who are real because they know there is no pretense or manipulation involved. This fosters deeper, more meaningful relationships, connections based on truth rather than illusion. In a world where many wear masks, those who refuse to are a breath of fresh air. It takes courage to be authentic because it requires vulnerability. When you show the world who you really are, you expose yourself to criticism, rejection, and misunderstanding. But the alternative, living a life that is not truly yours, is a far greater risk. The price of inauthenticity is a lifetime of wondering what could have been if only you had the courage to be yourself. Being unapologetically authentic is not about proving anything to anyone. It is about freeing yourself from the weight of expectation and embracing the reality of who you are. It is about speaking your truth, pursuing your passions, and walking through life with integrity. It is about owning your story, your voice, and your place in the world. Without apology. Having a life bigger than any man means cultivating a sense of purpose, identity, and fulfillment that is independent of any romantic relationship. Too often, women are conditioned to believe that their worth is tied to their ability to attract or keep a man. But the truth is, the most compelling and irresistible women are those who are fully engaged in their own lives, chasing their own dreams, and building something meaningful beyond any relationship. A life bigger than any man begins with a deep sense of self. Who are you outside of relationships? What drives you? What excites you? Many women lose themselves in love, molding their lives around a partner's needs while neglecting their own. But a woman who has her own passions, ambitions, and interests commands a different level of respect. She is not waiting to be chosen. She is already living fully, and a man must prove he is worthy of joining her journey. Independence is not just about financial stability, though that is an important part of it. It is about emotional and intellectual independence as well. When a woman can think for herself, make her own decisions, and stand firm in her beliefs, she becomes someone who is not easily manipulated or swayed by outside influences. She does not need validation because she has already validated herself. When your life is rich with purpose, you do not settle for mediocrity in relationships. A woman who is fulfilled on her own does not tolerate half-hearted effort, emotional games, or relationships that drain her energy. She understands that love should enhance her life, not consume it. She does not chase, she attracts. She does not beg, she walks away from anything that does not meet her standards. Building a life bigger than any man means developing a strong network of friendships, pursuing intellectual growth, and engaging in work or hobbies that bring genuine joy. It means having a support system outside of romance, friends, mentors, and colleagues who challenge and uplift you. It means finding fulfillment in experiences, in learning, in adventure, and in personal development rather than waiting for someone else to provide those things for you. A woman who is deeply engaged in her own journey is magnetic. She carries herself differently because she knows she has something of value beyond her physical beauty or ability to be in a relationship. She is not afraid of solitude because she knows that being alone is not the same as being lonely. She uses time alone to build, to grow, to reflect, and to refine herself into the best version of who she can be. Having a life bigger than any man also means refusing to shrink yourself to make someone else comfortable. Many women are taught to dim their own light in relationships, to be agreeable, to avoid intimidating men, but the right man will never be threatened by your success, your strength, or your intelligence. If someone requires you to make yourself smaller to keep them, they are not worthy of your presence. True fulfillment comes from creating something that is yours alone, whether it is a business, an artistic pursuit, a cause you are passionate about, or a lifelong personal goal. Having something in your life that is entirely your own gives you an unshakable sense of confidence. It ensures that no matter what happens in your personal relationships, you are always standing on solid ground. Women who build rich, meaningful lives set the standard for how they deserve to be treated. They are not easily impressed by superficial gestures because they have seen what true depth looks like in themselves. They understand that a relationship is only a part of life, not the entirety of it. They seek partnerships that add value rather than ones that serve as distractions from their own growth. A life bigger than any man is one where love is a choice, not a necessity. It is a life where you stand firmly in who you are, never waiting to be rescued, validated, or completed. It is about creating, experiencing, and evolving in ways that make you proud, ensuring that whether or not someone walks beside you, your journey is always worth taking.